My letter to all who grieve this Christmas. Today we live in uncertain times. We put false hope into leaders and people that seem to care for only selfish gain. We see our world falling apart around us. I can certainly look back at fonder times. Personally, at times, I grieve over my lost innocence. I grieve at how hard life is. I grieve for those I have lost and loved dearly. The ones that made me feel safe and unconditionally loved. Now I just feel empty without them. The holiday season, for me, becomes the season of mourning. I haven't felt the spirit of Christmas for a very long time. That feeling of warmth and wonder. The excitement. The joy. All gone and lost forever. The holidays serve only as a reminder of that which I have lost. Giving me a feeling of living only in a graveyard of broken dreams and promises. Just wishing the holidays would go by as fast as possible. Can you relate? It's easy to get distracted by a world, in one way or another, that seems hostile to every living thing. The truth is, at times, I feel I have become damaged goods, becoming, to various degrees, jaded, guarded, and burdened with great sorrows. I came to a point in my most darkest hours to realize that I needed a savior, not just from this world, but from myself. I found that I became just as lost as this world is. Then I learned that just over 2,000 years ago in Israel the environment seemed hopeless as well. This was a country that had a hostile occupation force, the Romans, civic unrest, insane leaders, King Herod, and the only people that was supposed to care for the common man, the religious leaders, cared only for the rights and privileges that were given to them by their dictators and the honor given to them by titles. Sound familiar? Hope in this hostile place, like now, was a very precious and rare commodity, but yet in the midst of anarchy and chaos a child was born. A child that wouldn't by force set the governments of the world right, but by love, faith, and hope set a dark cold world that was lost, spiritually free. This child, that was born so long ago, taught that any hope in this world was but foolishness. Simply because, as you know, nothing lasts. He taught the only thing that does last is spirit, and that those that want to truly live, and not just survive, in such a place as this must put our hope in him. Did you know that without hope, a person can't survive very long? I'm not talking about hope as in wishful thinking, but a true hope. Hope, as in the confident expectation of what God has promised, and its strength is in his faithfulness. That this darkness will one day end and an eternity of only beauty with God will exist. Jesus promised in John 14:2-4, "My Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, would I have told you that I am going there to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am. You know the way to the place where I am going, and the horrors of this world will be no longer." In Revelation it says, "And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, 'Look! God's dwelling place is now among the people, and he will dwell with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain, for the old order of things has passed away.' He who was seated on the throne said, 'I am making everything new.' Then he said, 'Write this down, for these words are trustworthy and true.'" Revelation 21:3-5. Christmas isn't about decorations, presents, Christmas trees, traditions, or even dinners. Not that there's anything wrong with those things. It is about how God humbled himself as an innocent infant to come to this horror and pain-filled world to redeem man, so that his people would have a true hope. And that regardless of how insufferable earthly life becomes, there is an eternity of joy, peace, and rest, free of troubles. Jesus' birth was the start of the one and only rescue mission to save sinners. His mission was to be born in order to die for us. Christmas is about the starting of the Son of God's lifelong mission of redemption that ended in a horrible and tortuous death, but not in his defeat. But that part we will talk about at Easter. May the Prince of Peace give you comfort that transcends all understanding. Merry Christmas, everyone. Luke 2, 8-11. And there were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news of great joy that will be for all the people. Today in the town of David a Savior has been born to you. He is Christ the Lord.